The Foreign Secretary of the UK, Liz Truss, accused Russia and President Vladimir Putin of weaponizing food and hunger during the conflict in Ukraine and said that the Russian side is blocking the access to the wheat and grains and other vegetables in addition to exporting these products to the outside world. Therefore, she traveled to Turkey, which is a NATO member, to meet with her counterpart, the Turkish counterpart, in order to solve this situation, according to her. So it seems Turkey here is playing some sort of a mediator role between Russia and the West during this proxy war on Ukraine. Take a listen.
Food should never be used as a weapon of war, but that's what we're seeing in Ukraine, with Putin's forces blocking the ports and stopping grain being exported around the world. I'm here in Ankara to help find a solution and to unblock this issue. Turkey is a vital strategic partner in our work to help get the grain out, in particular reopening essential sea routes to ensure the safe passage of food. The situation is urgent. We cannot let it drift. Britain will leave no stone unturned in trying to resolve this alongside allies and partners like Turkey. We're working closely together to help all of those suffering from Vladimir Putin's appalling war.
Now, I think everyone, any sane person should agree with me that weaponizing food and hunger is immoral, whether it is legal or not. Like, we all know that it is illegal under international law. However, even if it wasn't illegal under international law, it is so immoral that no party, whether it's Russia, the United States, the UK, even Syria, or any party shouldn't use food as a weapon against the enemies, because the collective suffering of the people that they are paying the biggest price during this conflict is unjustifiable. However, in this part exactly where the UK and the Foreign Secretary are accusing Russia of weaponizing food, the Russian side says that Azov mined the ports of Ukraine and especially Mariupol, and therefore they need time to demine the waters. This is number one. Number two, they say that grain and wheat can be exported through a land road or through trains, etc. But Russia also says that because of the sanctions imposed on Russia, they're unable to do it. I don't know if these arguments are legit. I don't know if they are accurate. I don't know. I'm not there. I don't know if the Mariupol port and other ports are mined. But this is the Russian argument against it. And they say we have no interest to ban the export of wheat and other grains to the other countries. But what astonishes me here is the hypocrisy of the UK Foreign Secretary Liz Truss, who of course confuses between the Black Sea and the Baltic Sea. And I'm not even kidding. She really confuses between the Black Sea and the Baltic Seas. She traveled to Turkey, which is a NATO member, and she of course praised Turkey as a NATO member and for playing a role in this conflict. Although Turkey weaponizes water in Syria and Iraq, they limit the amount of water and sometimes they cut it completely on entire towns and cities in the northern part of Syria and Iraq. They weaponize the refugees. Yes, hear me well, they weaponize the refugees. I don't call them weapons, dear German media. I'm saying the Turkish side, Erdogan, is weaponizing the refugees. So he is the one who sees the refugees as a weapon against Europe, not me calling them weapons because you misquoted me last time. Turkey is a major sponsor of global terrorism and especially the Muslim Brotherhood and the Salafi groups in the region, including ISIS, al-Nusra, etc. And up until this moment, in the areas that are occupied by Turkey in Syria, in the north and in Idlib, the leaders of ISIS are usually finding safe havens there. And the last 3 or 4 different leaders of ISIS were being either killed or captured in areas occupied by Turkey. Coincidence? I don't think so. Turkey occupies parts of Syria, parts of Iraq, parts of Cyprus, parts of Greece. I don't see Turkey having any normal relations with its neighboring countries. But all these sins that Turkey commits, it doesn't stop the UK and the Liz Truss from holding talks and improving relations with NATO member Turkey. What astonishes me still more is that the UK backs the efforts of the United States in Syria in occupying Syria's wheat and grains and burning the wheat farms in the eastern shores of the Euphrates. Those who do not know, American occupation forces back their militias. They have the so-called Syrian Democratic Forces that is backed by the United States. They occupy 1/3 of Syria in the eastern shores of the Euphrates on the eastern side of Syria. And in this part, you have most of Syria's wheat and grains, and you also have its 50% of oil and gas fields. So the United States occupies these places, and this occupation is backed by the UK, right? And the UK doesn't mind the United States occupying the wheat of Syria. And then they burn this wheat every summer. You can see, you can go and Google, and on YouTube you can check. All the videos are documented. Every time it's a time of harvest, the United States throws some burning balloons or some sort of bombs over these areas, and they burn them all so that they deprive the Syrian people from their wheat. And when they wanted to help Syrians, they sent wheat seeds through the US aid, which is another CIA, of course, arm. They send it through Iraq to Syria, to the farmers in the eastern shores of the Euphrates. And when the Syrian government checked these seeds, because some people, they have collaborators there, so they collected the seeds and sent them to, I think it was in Tartus, and they realized that these seeds are poisoned. And if one seed is poisoned, they will poison the entire farm there. So, can we call this a weaponization of food in Syria? I think so. Yes, completely. Does the UK support the United States' efforts in weaponizing food in Syria? Of course it does. So, again, double standards and hypocrisy. And what astonishes me even beyond beliefs is that the UK itself weaponized food in Iraq. And there was a program called Food in Exchange for Oil. So Iraq should export oil, and they would pay Iraq with food. Is this a weaponization or not? Yes, it is. And when they imposed draconian sanctions on Iraq against Saddam Hussein, like they targeted sanctions right now, like they do now in Syria, 500,000 children died because of the sanctions. 500,000, 500,000 children died. And when the Secretary of State of the United States, Madeleine Albright, was asked about it, she said the price is worth it. So killing 500,000 children was worth it for the United States to pursue its foreign policy goals in the region, in the Middle East. So I would like to say this with complete honesty. I mentioned this during an interview with Clayton a few days ago. I would say it again. I have the belief that inside every imperialist Western political figure, so I'm very precise, inside every imperialist Western political elite, so I'm specifying the imperialists of them, there is a Madeleine Albright inside these figures. And each of these imperialist figures, they repeat inside themselves. They talk to themselves and they say, the price is worth it. They say the exact same thing that Madeleine Albright said 2 decades ago about the 500,000 children who died in Iraq. They say the same, but they say it and do it silently, without mentioning it to the media, without bragging about it, without being proud about it, although they are proud of what they do now in Syria, sanctioning the Syrian people, slowly killing the Syrian people after 11 years of horrible terroristic war and now horrible draconian sanctions against the Syrian people. This is my conviction. There are so many good politicians in Europe and in the West. I don't want to give any names right now. There are anti-imperialist politicians, which I like. And if one day I have the opportunity to vote, I would vote for anti-imperialist politicians. There are anti-imperialist journalists that I support wholeheartedly, but there are also imperialist politicians. Some of them are in power and they are causing unbelievable amount of damage to the rest of the world. I just wanted you to know about this, and I wanted to address this hypocrisy, which really irritated me when she spoke about the Russia using food as a weapon. And if Russia using food as a weapon, I condemn it strongly, and I ask Russia to release these grains and wheat if they are using it. But at the same time, I know with facts and I know with examples that the UK and the United States, they used weapons and they murdered hundreds of thousands of people by weaponizing food. So I've been your host, Kevork Almasian of Syriana Analysis. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. It really helps me with the algorithm of YouTube. And if you want to support my work, you can become a member of Syriana Analysis. You can just click on the join just under the video, or maybe you can also support me through Patreon. Link in the description below, and see you next time.